Hi folks, I hope you're doing well and managed to get some time for rest and refreshment and re-envisioning over the summer months. It's been fantastic for us to hear loads and loads of stories of children and young people coming to faith or growing in their faith over the various summer experiences that we've been involved in. I guess the big challenge though is what happens next. In a sense, sometimes it's much easier to see a young person or a child making a response to God, but then actually the ongoing challenge of discipleship, that is pretty tough. What now? How do we disciple our children and young people? And that question was the question that challenged us, inspired us to develop Mimic, this youth and children's website that's recently launched that hopefully you've had a pack about. If you haven't, be in touch with us. The whole idea of Mimic is to address the challenge of discipleship, whereas Energize is all about helping you run your group with teaching ideas and games and activities. It's aimed at youth and children's leaders. Mimic is aimed very much at children and young people, a tool for them to get to grips with what it really means in practice to be a follower of Jesus. Author Dallas Willard talks about the importance of having a curriculum of Christ-likeness, that the goal of faith is to become more like Jesus. And in essence, that's what Mimic is about. For children aged 8 right through to 18 plus, this tool aims to provide a curriculum of Christ-likeness, forming Christ in our children and young people. So how do you get the most out of Mimic? Well, let me give you an example of how we're trying to use it in our local group. I've got a couple of guys that I'm mentoring, and each month we would start with the My Journey section of the website, which looks at character traits of Jesus. We call them trademarks. So the fact that Jesus was courageous, he's forgiving, he's gentle, he's honest, the list goes on. And so each one of my young people, my mentors, my disciples will pick one of those trademarks. Maybe they feel that they need to grow in honesty. And so we'll select that as the one to work through that month. And they'll look at the teaching, they'll learn the memory verse. Over the course of the month, they'll put into practice the 3 challenging actions. And at the end of the month, reflect together on what they've learned, capturing that information on the Mimic Passport so that they can look back on how they're growing and how they're applying what they've learned to every day of their life. That's the My Journey section, picking a trademark every month. And then the other main section of the site is My Rucksack, the Mimic TV. And this has a whole series of weekly videos looking at different aspects of discipleship, what it means to be a girl growing up for God or a guy growing up for God, getting to grips with the Bible story, living a make a difference life, understanding the essence of discipleship. And so whereas every month I'd be saying to my young people, let's work through a trademark, every week I want to say to them, watch one of these videos on Mimic TV, and then again we can chat about it together. I'm hoping that every other week, approximately twice a month, I'll get together with these guys and we'll talk through the stuff they've been working through on Mimic, probably with a laptop or a phone or some kind of mobile device there so we can look at the videos together. But I also want to encourage the young people that when they're at home alone to connect with the videos and the content on Mimic as well. Sometimes we might have a Skype call or an MSN chat while we're both looking at Mimic on screen. Of course, with all the right parental permissions. And you as a leader can log into Mimic too. It will look different for you because for you, it's just tracking what the young people are doing and how they're getting on with the content. So remember, Energize is all about equipping you for running your youth and children's group, whereas Mimic is helping you disciple and grow and see your children and young people transformed to become more like Jesus. That is the big vision. For more information, do go to the Energize website. There's a whole section on Mimic with loads and loads of tutorials, video tutorials that you can work through to get registered for yourself and then for your young people. Remember, you have to register on Mimic through Energize and then you can log into Mimic, whereas your young people can register directly on Mimic and select you as their Mimic leader. Remember the big picture. 1 Corinthians 11:1 of Mimic. Paul writes, imitate me as I imitate Christ. This is what Mimic is all about. Us helping young people, equipping young people, giving young people tools to be followers of Jesus. They imitate us in our walk with God as we seek to imitate Jesus in all that he says and does. So God bless you. Get stuck into Mimic. If you've got any questions, come back to us and let's see how this tool can help us in the vital, essential task of helping young people and children become amazing, radical, dynamic, world-changing followers of Jesus. Let's hope it inspires us to do the same.